Okay, everybody's hopping on. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me tonight. So I'm sure a couple more people will hop on, but this is meeting style, just so you know. So you're more than welcome to unmute yourself and ask a question along the way, or you can just put it in the chat if you don't want to do that. Okay. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go over like the self-storage fund of America and kind of show you the whole fund, what we're doing with the fund, and then how to invest and stuff. So I'll take you through all that. So I appreciate you guys hopping on and listening in. And I'll go through the presentation, like the slide deck. I'll go through some of those slides. I'll show you the offering. I'm going to show you the financial model and where you can find that. And then I'm going to show you like the facilities that we've bought so far. We are actually going to close on a facility. We're going to close on a facility this week in Florida. So I'll kind of show you that one. And then we have one under contract right now in Georgia that we're supposed to close on either at the end of the month or beginning of May, right? So that's basically where we're at with the fund. I appreciate you guys hopping on. Let me just get started. And then again, like I said, if you have any questions at all you need to do is just unmute yourself, ask the question, or you could just put it into chat. Okay. And then just to introduce myself, so my husband's Pete and I'm Stacy, and we've been investing in real estate since 2011. So almost 12 years now. So starting like in the summer of this year, it'll be 12 years. And we started out with our first like 5 years, we did rehabs is what we did. So we got into the real estate investing world by doing rehabs. And we did 100 rehabs in 5 years. I don't wish that on anybody at all. All right. Do not do that. And but we got really really good at what the best part about it is that we got really good at raising money, because when you buy rehabs, essentially you gotta learn how to raise money. And so my job now is I'm CFO of our company, and that's my job, is to just to pitch and raise money, talk to investors, work with investors. And then also Anne is here. You don't see her, but she's here listening in too. And she's like our investor relations person. So after this session, you will get an email from her introducing herself, and then she'll send you over like the replay of this session. She'll send you over the financial model. She can answer any questions. She can help you through the process of getting into the portal. That's really what her job is. Okay. Really making sure that, you have help at all times through the process of working with us. Okay. So yeah, so we've my husband and I, since 2011 until now, we've done about $25 million worth of real estate investing, and that includes 100 rehabs, and then now we're buying a number 15. We're 15 storage facilities essentially is where we're at. So we started investing in self-storage in 2016. And so we bought and then what happened really was that I was just getting tired of rehabbing, and I also got pregnant. And so I just started getting out there and looking at like other things I could do. I really wanted to focus on passive income because I wanted to stay home and take care of Lillian and just be with her. So I was like, let's just do passive income. Luckily, the facility that I started with in commercial real estate was a storage facility. And I haven't looked back since. In fact, we got rid of all of our rental properties and we only focus really solely on storage. And the reason why is because, there's no reason to do rentals anymore. I make way more money in storage. All right. And I think storage is the best kept secret in the real estate investing world. And I'm not sure why, more people aren't doing it. Now, obviously, a lot of people want to invest in stuff, want to buy storage and invest in self-storage. But the truth is that most people don't do it. They just want to do it. Right. And and then on top of that, I also teach people how to invest in self-storage. And I have a coaching program called Storage Nerds. I don't really take a lot of students, but I do take a handful of students a couple times a year, and I'll hold their hand and walk them through like how to get started. I typically work with newbies, help them buy their first facility is what I do. Okay. Now in the storage world, I consider the market to have three different types of like three different types of markets, like three different types of sectors. All right. And the first sector is like $1 million or less. And then the second is like $1 to $3 million. And the third is like 3 million plus. Okay. When I first started in self-storage, our very first deal that we bought was $250,000. And it's a really good deal because back in the day, 2016, 2017, nobody wanted to be in storage. So you got to get really good deals up till about 2020, 2019, 2020, then that's when they started going a little crazy. But like, the first couple of years that we got into storage, so 17, 18, 19, the first 3-4 years that we were in storage, we're getting some really good deals, honestly. I'm working a lot of money now. And so we live in Tallahassee and we focus on Georgia and Florida is where we focus. And actually the fund is really, it says like you should buy something in Georgia. We're going to buy something in Georgia and Florida, is what it says. Okay. So in the PPM. And yeah, so we started out $1 million or less. So we bought like, small facilities, 100 units, typically 100 units. And what we do is we buy severely mismanaged facilities. All right. And the reason why we buy severely mismanaged facilities is because we've rehabbed 100 homes. And like, really, honestly, nothing after you rehab 100 homes, nothing can scare you at all. Right. And the truth is that most people do not want to buy severely mismanaged facilities because there's two reasons. First of all, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to get those things up and running, right? And like, so nobody wants to do the work. Number two is that it's very hard to finance these. It's very hard to finance them because no bank is going to finance them, right? No, commercial real estate is based off of the income that it produces. The valuation of the property is based off of the income that it produces. So if it's not producing any income, then like, no bank is going to finance it. So that means you have to raise the money. The good thing is that, I got really good at raising money because, when we were doing rehabs, we had to raise the money because it's the same concept. Nobody, you can't buy a home that needs renovated with a bank loan typically. So, and, so basically we focus on severely mismanaged facilities. Now, when I say severely mismanaged facilities, there's two different types of severely mismanaged. We own 11 properties ourselves personally, and then the fund is buying now three, number 3 and number 4. Or we have 12 personally, and then the fund is buying number 3 and 4. And so for the 11 that we own personally, we raised the money to buy them, and they're all severely mismanaged facilities. And so that means that essentially there's two things. One thing is that we have to like clean it up, right? So like when we buy the facilities, every unit is full of people's crap and like nobody's paying. All right. And so we have to really get in there and fix the doors, fix the latches, we have to get all the stuff out, getting everybody's stuff out. That's a lot of work to do that. And it costs quite a bit of money to do it too, as well. And then you have to get the tenants. You have to get all the tenants out, all the bad tenants. You have to get them out. And then you have to get tenants in that will actually follow your rules and pay the prices that you want, right? So that's really the process that we go through with these like severely mismanaged facilities. All right. And inside the fund, we have one severely mismanaged facility that we bought, and then all the 3 are mismanaged facilities, but they're not as bad. The second type of mismanaged facility that we buy is it's considered an income producing property, but it's not producing what it should be producing, right? So for instance, on the Blairsville facility that we bought, the very first one that we bought in August inside the fund, the owner of the property was making $8,000 a month, all right, on a property that should have been making $23,000 a month, all right? And so I keep saying all right, I apologize, but like, so we basically bought that facility And then we're going to take it from $8,000 a month to $23,000 a month. Now, when you do that, he was charging $20 a month for a 10 by 10. And the market calls for $100 a month. Okay. So you can imagine all these, and everybody's been there for like 10 or 15 years. All right. And the owner, I mean, he was happy $8,000 a month. $8,000 a month is really kind of a lot of money, you know? So he was happy. He did everything himself. He mowed, he managed the facility. He got up every day, and that was just his job was to manage this facility. All right. And then he just paid like electric and, and then water, and that was it, And so it wasn't that big. It wasn't like that big of a deal. And it wasn't really that big of a deal to like increase the rates and stuff. So for years and years and years, people were paying like $20 a month for a 10 by 10. So you can just imagine when you buy something like that and then you increase the rates from $20 to $100, you really just like piss everybody off. Right. And so we came in, we bought the facility. Once we did, we gave everybody a 60-day notice. We let them know that their rates are going to increase. And they can either get out or they can pay the new rates, right? So we had 99, or so there's 135 tenants, and there's 135 doors, and we had 99 tenants. Out of the 99 tenants, half of them left. All right, half of them just left. So we're really at like 40 to 50%. We're like 40% full at one point, like when everybody left. And then like. And we had to do like a whole bunch of auctions and stuff as well too. We got down to like probably everybody's like right around 40%. Okay. And then it's so funny because like even during we have all these people are leaving, we're getting new tenants coming in that are actually paying $100 a month. And he hadn't had any new tenants in a while because everybody was just, if you're paying $20 a month to store your stuff, like why would you ever go and get it? And a lot of people like were thanking us. They really like, he was there and he was like, I just want to say thank you. Like you're actually making us clean this place out. We really appreciate this. And so then like the funny thing is now, because we were just at our quarterly meeting and on last week on Thursday, and we're at 50% full right now, and we're making $12,000 a month. At 50% full, we're making $12,000 a month, and we're charging the rates that should be rated. So that was from like basically September, October, November, December. So for 4 months, that's us really like kicking it, like, raising the price, raising the rents, getting everybody out, and then doing auctions for everybody else that hasn't paid. That was like our first 4 months. Okay. And then now it's really just stabilizing that properly. And just like now it's, doing marketing and getting the tenants in and just leasing up is what it is. So we really now are focusing on like Google ads, we're focusing on getting, how can we lease this property up as fast as we possibly can, right? What is the marketing that we need to be doing to do that? All right. And that's kind of how that works. And the property that we're closing on this week, same concept. It's 50% full, and the owners like are just it's making $100,000 a month. I'm sorry, $100,000 a year, but it's only 50% full. Okay. And it's the same concept. And the one that we're closing on in the beginning of May, in May sometime, same thing. It's making around $100,000 a month, and it should be making well over $250 a month. I mean, $250 a year. So $100,000 a year, $250 a year. So we're really going to double, if not triple, the value of that property within like, just within like 18 months. We really shoot for 18 months of stabilization, but it takes anywhere from 18 to 24 months to stabilize the properties. And now to find those types of properties, it's not easy. It's not easy to find those properties. And I have 10 virtual assistants that do nothing but call owners and talk to owners. And I have like 1, 2, 3, 4 virtual assistants that do nothing but call Georgia and Florida facilities. And they're essentially calling owners and like, really just, trying to get offers out. And it's all about just putting offers, because it's really seriously, it's a numbers game. All right. And so but we kind of have the finding part down, and I haven't really pushed finding any more facilities because I've been trying to raise the money for the Leesburg property and for the Carrollton property that we're trying to close. So I haven't really gone out and looked for facilities. But actually, the funniest thing is that we were going to buy some properties and we're going to put them into the fund in like this time last year. There's a guy that is up in the North Georgia area. Perfect, great location because we already have 2 facilities up there. And he has 3 facilities that he wants to sell. And he said he's just not managing them. And so last year, we almost bought the facilities right at the back, right at the last minute. He backed out. He's like, no, he's like, I think I can do this. I think I can do this himself. So then he just emailed me on Friday and he said, hey, he's like, I didn't do it. Like, it's still like, we're at the same place that we were last year. He's like, I need to really just sell these. He's like, are you ready? And I was like, yeah, we'll buy them. So we're basically this week, we're in talks to like even put those under contract. And the best part is he's going to owner finance them. He's going to owner finance them. Right. And the one that we're closing on this week, this Leesburg one, they're owner financing that one as well, too. So in the fund, remember, I said that banks will not finance the deals that I buy. So I either have to raise cash, which is why I started this fund, is to raise cash so that I can buy these types of properties, or I can get the owner to owner finance them, but I could still put them into the fund, right? So the Leesburg property is getting owner finance and I'm putting it into the fund, and we're taking that property from $2.5 million to $5 million in 2 years, right? If I can get that property stabilized in 2 years and sell it, that ROI is like 100%. Right now, obviously in 2 years, maybe I could refi it out or something like this too. But like the goal is like in 2 years to really stabilize that property. All right. And this is something that we've done on all the properties that we own personally. And it's the same concept, the same exact concept, except that we're doing them inside the fund. All right. So this is not going out and buying huge, big properties, big REITs, raising, $5 million for one property. This is raising 1 million to $3 million properties, raising the money for them and then going out and buying them. And so all my first properties that I bought, all of the first ones I had, those were $1 million or less. And the reason I started this fund is because I want to be able to buy $1 million to $3 million properties in this industry. I do not buy 3 million plus properties because honestly, the competition is like way too fierce anyways. And, and that's just not, we're just not that type of people anyway. So me and my husband, we are like asset managers that buy like severely mismanaged facilities, and then we manage them and we stabilize them, and then we'll probably just sell them off is what we'll do. Okay, so that's kind of how this fund is working, just to give you a idea. And we're in this $1 to $3 million to raise, to find $250,000 or $500,000 to buy a facility. Not difficult at all. All right. But to raise, 1.5 to $2 million to buy a facility is a lot more work. And this $1 to $3 million range, finding the facilities, I call this the sweet spot. Like, this is like, people do not buy this range because it's very hard to finance facilities in this range. You have to have cash, or you have to be able to convince the owner to owner finance it for you. All right. And even when you do convince the owner to owner finance, they still want like a huge down payment, right? So if you buy a $2.5 million facility and they owner finance it to you, they still need $700,000-800,000 down. They want that much money down, up to $1 million. So I have to still raise that money. All right. So my job internally is to do this, is to find investors. Just think about it. The minimum to put into this fund is $25,000, right? The minimum. So how many $25,000 investors does it take to get to $1.5 million? It takes a lot of investors. All right. And so raising the money is kind of what I work on. And then my husband, his name is Pete. He's the manager. So he has his whole team underneath him to manage all of these facilities that we have. Okay. So, and he does a really good job just kind of managing the systems and the processes. And we've grown from one facility up to being able to manage, 16 different facilities at the same time, 16 to 20 different facilities. And we're completely vertically integrated. So we don't hire third parties to manage. We manage them ourselves. And the reason we manage them ourselves, because that's the cheapest way to do it. All right. To go out, these third party managers, they're charging like a lot of money. And then another thing about the third party managers is they don't have anybody in house. They have like a couple of people in house. And then what they do is they just get all these people all these different companies to come in and like do all the work. They have a call center doing something. They got lean people doing stuff. They got boots on the ground. It's just like, it's not. Anyway, so we do everything vertically integrated and we manage all the people ourselves. And that's kind of how we do it. Okay. Okay. All right. So let me show you now. So you have an idea of I just went over what the deck is like showing you. All right. But I do want to show the deck to you. And I'm going to show you the portal. So you guys can have an idea here. Let me see. This is just a sec. What's the name of it? Here it is. New presentation right here. So this is the deck. And this is inside the portal. All right. So I'm going to log out of the portal. This is the website. We're going to put this right into chat for you. So your first step is to get access to the portal. Okay. And inside the portal is where, I do not want to end this meeting. It would be horrible. Inside the portal is where you're going to get all of your information. Okay. So I just put that into the chat, the link, and this is what you're going to see when you click on that. And the first thing that you're going to do is just access the PPM. All right, so you're going to click this and you're going to register for the portal. And this is going to only give you access to the PPM. So you could check out the PPM, just fill out all your information here, and then you could check out the PPM. Let me get in. So now once you fill this information out, we'll give you access to the PPM and then we can log in. And this is what it's going to look like when you log in, okay? And the access to the PPM is going to look like this. And it's basically an ebook. And let's see. And then this is where you're going to have all the pages here. Let's see. And then you could just make it bigger if you want to do full screen and read it online, or you can just come in here. You can download it as well too if you want to download it. And then you can go through and you can read it. And the PPM is really kind of like the Bible to the, to the fund, right? This is like, we have a fund manager. His name is Adam. And this is what he goes by when he manages the fund. These are the rules. These are regulations of like how we manage the fund, right? And so, and Adam kind of uses this to do that. And then inside here, you can see there's just like, examples of deals. And there's like this is all the properties that we've ever owned, that we rehabbed, or storage facilities. And then there's the operating agreement in here. There's like different types of case studies in here. It's just all kinds of stuff in here. So I just want to make sure y'all know that y'all could just go through and just read this. I highly recommend that you read this. This is the operating agreement, and you could just go through it. Okay. And then let me see what else. So that is basically the PPM. Now, what you're seeing here, this is the portal. This is the investor portal. So this is where you have prospect account created. And then you have upgrade to investor account. So you really, honestly, you want to upgrade to investor account so that you can see what the offering is. You can see the subscription and how much we've raised. And the main thing I wanted to show you here is you could see the documents, right? So, so you could see here's the steps. Subscription document. The subscription basically is like the contract between you and the fund. All right. So this is like, are you going to put your money in as an individual, right, or with your partner or with a spouse? Right? Are you going to put your money in from a custodian, 401k, IRA, Fidelity, Vanguard, whatever? And then, are you going to put your money in from a company? Is your company going to lend the money? All right, so you pick which one, whichever one that you pick of these, it just becomes like it's a DocuSign. All All right, so you would just manually go through and put all the information in here. Okay, that's kind of how that works. And that's the first step is to fill out the subscription. The second step is to verify yourself as an accredited investor. This is a 501c Reg D fund. So this means you have to be an accredited investor. An accredited investor means that you have either you have $1 million in net worth or you have make either $200,000 or $300,000 a year. Okay, depending on how you file how you file your taxes. And then here, step 3, you can see is the fund transfer, like the wire instructions and stuff are all right here. Okay. And then down below, you can see here's the documents. So here's the investor presentation. This is where I'm going to go over here right now. And then you have like steps to invest, the offering extension, the subscription, the accredited investor information, updated financial model, which we're not going to download. Let's see, we download that so we can show you the financial model. I'm going to download you a couple of the facilities here. So the 4 facilities that we have, and these are the executive summaries. So every single one of the facilities that we buy will have an executive summary. So you guys can get in, you can take a look at them as well too, right? So the documents are here. You can see Q4. We just did our Q4 investor meeting. So you can watch the video. You can see the report. It's all right here. Okay. And then any news that we have right here. Let's see. Okay. So everything is here in the portal. So the portal is really where we're going to be talking to you and showing you everything. So your first step is really to get into the portal, look at the PPM and upgrade to investor status so you can see all the other stuff in here. If you only get in and see the PPM, you will not be able to see documents and things like that. So that's why we have this upgrade to investor status. Okay. All right, and then let me get into the presentation here. So I kind of sort of went through a lot of this. So I just want to make sure y'all have access to the slide deck so y'all can take a look at it. But there's 4 slides in here about the offering. So I wanted to just show y'all what the offering was. Okay. So we're trying to raise up to, $7.875 million. And basically the reason that number came about is because when I hired the consultant to help me put the PPM together, what we did, the first step that we did is we created the financial model. And the financial model is really based on our properties that we own personally. Okay. So the ones that we own personally are like, what were the numbers? What was the IRR that we made it? What did we do? And so essentially we just came up with like, you'll see the financial model. It's, $1 million properties. And we decided that we're going to buy anywhere from 6 to 8 $1 million properties. And so that's kind of how we came up with this number. All right. And that's what we ran the numbers on in the financial model. So our targeted IRR is 19%. The hold period is 5 years. All right. So whatever amount of money that you put in, just know that we're going to hold that for up to 5 years. The preferred return is 10%. So whatever amount of money that you put into the fund, you'll be paid 10% on. Okay. And then we have 2 hurdles. I'm going to go over the waterfall here in just a second, but we have 2 hurdles. It's an 80-20 split or a 75-25 split, depending on how well the fund performs. All right. And I'll show you that in just a second. And then we are contributing 4% into the fund. All right. So whenever we close on a property, we also put 4% in as well. Okay. Whatever the 4% is. And then the promote, again, we already talked about this, is the 10% preferred return up to 15% IR. We'll show you that here in just a second. And then the 25,000 is the minimum. And you have to be an accredited investor in order to invest. Okay, so here's the waterfall. This is what I was talking about. So essentially, if we don't make the preferred return, or if we don't make the IRR, the targeted IRR, then essentially there's no promote to us, right? So we don't meet the milestone. So we have the 10% preferred return as the tier 1. And then if we only make that, we split 4% for us putting the money in, and 96 for y'all. 96% is for y'all to split. Okay. Once we get to tier 2, which is anything above 10% up to 15%, then that is a 76-4-20 split. 20% to us for the promote, 4% to us for co-investing, and then 76% to y'all. And then thereafter, we have the 71-4-25 split. And that's if we make the 15% above 15%, then we'll be able to split 71% to y'all, and then the 25 and the 4 to us. All right. So essentially the goal, basically the goal is for us to hit this. And I really am not going to put any deals into the fund unless I can hit this, because I want 25%. Right. Okay. And then the fees here, we actually really did not put any that many fees in, honestly. So the management fee is a 0.625% of the property purchase price. And that's on an annual, that's an annual basis, right? So on $1 million every year, we get $6,250 for managing that property, for managing the property in the fund. Okay. And then the acquisitions fee is 0.50%. So it's less than 0.5%. That's a one-time, just, percent. That's a percentage to us for finding the property. Okay. There's no refinance fee. There's no disposition fee. And then also, if we do develop, if we add on any units or do any developing, it's a 5% development fee and a 7.5% general contractor fee. Okay. So that's really the offering. And then you have access, to this deck with all of the slides going over our strategy, and this kind of stuff is all in there. If you are interested, you're more than welcome to download this. There's case studies. There's pictures of our facilities and, portfolio. And this is Pete, this is my husband. So you could check that out. Okay. That's there. Okay. I see some questions. Let me shop stare and see. Okay. What's the length of the term, distribution rate, and target? Okay, we just asked that. So I think I answered that, Mark. Okay, yeah. So it's a 5-year term, 10% preferred return, and then the targeted IRR is 19%. I'll show you the financial model in just a second so you can actually see the numbers, okay, and stuff. But that's kind of where we're at. And then Julie's saying, I'm assuming our investment is all in for the properties in the fund. Yeah. So this is essentially we will have 6 to 8 facilities in this fund. Once the offering is closed, we spend all the money that we have. Okay. So basically, this is not just syndicating one property. This is a whole bunch of properties together, which actually, I just syndicated a facility in Tennessee. And, that's just one property, and that's what we got to do. Are you saying something? Did you have a question, Dale?
Yeah, I have a couple of them. The first one's kind of straightforward. Does this fund qualify as 1031 exchange?
We do not do tenants in common. Yeah, so basically, if you want to 1031 exchange your money into this fund, is what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you need to find a fund that accepts tenants in common, and we have not set that up for this fund. No.
Yeah. Okay. The other question is a little more involved. We have an acquaintance that has invested with you and gave us your name, which is why we're at this meeting. And yeah, I don't get the sense like this is the first fund that you've done. So this person gave you $350,000 and gets I'm not exactly sure, about a $200 or $2,000 or $2,000 plus check every month. All right. At least that's our understanding.
I'll show you the financial model so you can see what it looks like.
But I mean, were there funds prior to this one you're raising money for tonight?
So this is actually my first fund.
Yeah. Right. So I was wondering what were previous investments that this person would have sent you $350,000 for?
I'm not sure who you're talking about, but I mean, I have a lot of investors. I've raised $25 million in the last 12 years.
Yeah.
So I don't know what, like, I don't know
Well, I'm
which.
kind of asking what is the nature of those other ones, or aren't those other ones available
Oh, all
anymore?
my investments, yeah, so they're all real estate. I've done commercial, I've done residential, I've done storage, I've kind of done a lot of stuff, honestly. So, I mean, I'm not sure who it is, but it was, probably something. I mean, I have a lot of investors that have been with me for 5 to 10 years.
Yeah,
Would it be fair to say, Stacy, that the previous investments that you made with investors, external investors, were all individual property investments that were generating returns?
Yes, yeah, this is my first fund where I'm actually crowdfunding money. I mean, this is a crowdfunding fund. Up until this fund, every investor has been raised, has been for a property that I've raised.
and you're not doing that any longer?
I'm just focusing on the fund right now. Honestly,
Yeah.
I can't do it all.
Yeah, of course.
Dale, it's like when you go and buy 15 individual properties, you realize that pooling the capital and doing it as a group is much more efficient. That's why she's doing
Yeah, it's
it.
just more efficient to do it this way. Actually, it's a little bit hard. It's harder to do it this way because the minimum is so small, so it's a lot more work. But in the end, I get to put a lot of people's money together. But actually, I just, it was, no, I raise money. It's not that difficult to raise money. I just have to like pitch and talk to people and stuff too. Yeah. Fundraising is what I do best. That's why I'm sitting here doing this right now. My husband, what he does best is managing the properties. And I basically find them and fund them, and he runs them. And that's really kind of how our business is set up. So, yeah. Okay. But yeah, so okay, so and then we have a couple other questions here. Yeah. So and then the way that the fund works, right? Because so for instance, like the 2 properties that we bought last year, we all of the people that put their money in for last year, they've been earning a 10% pref on that profit, on the profit, sorry, on the investment that they put in. And then on top of that, we did cost seg and on those properties. And so all the investors for 2022 got access to all that cost seg, which was actually quite a bit of money that everybody got to use on their taxes and stuff, which was really nice. Now this year we'll have 4 properties that put 4 more properties into this fund. So everybody will have the pref, right? The 10% on their money. And then on top of that, they'll be able to get the cost seg on that as well too.
So Stacy, can you just clarify that what you're saying is that this pref return that you're talking about, that is a consistently paid yield, either quarterly or monthly or whatever it is? And then
It's a quarterly distribution.
okay, and then the 15% plus hurdle that you're talking about, that's at a liquidity event or recapitalization?
That's like I mean, everything is paid on the profit of the facility, right? Off the profit of the fund, right? But you will get paid 10% on the money that you get paid, and then you'll get a split of the profit. That whatever amount of money that you put in becomes the equity.
Okay, and is the goal to acquire, rehab, stabilize, and then as soon as possible, either exit or recap the property to get a liquidity event? Because the risk that I'm seeing is a longevity risk. Like, yeah, you're getting 10% per, period, whatever it is. But if you decide to hold these all to the last year, right, the year 5, then it's this tying up more capital for longer, right? So if your goal is to go in and acquire whatever, I can't remember how many you said, but call it $5 to $8 million properties, then you have 2 options. Either you can get more money into the investor's pocket by recapping or selling the stabilized units as soon as you stabilize them, or you can recap them and roll the money back into the fund, go and buy another property and make it accretive like that. So which one are you more likely?
I mean, I haven't shown that yet. That's in the financial model. I haven't gotten to that yet. Would you like me to show you the financial model?
Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah, so I haven't quite, I was gonna do that. I was gonna go into that, but I was just kind of just going over the fund and stuff like the portal and stuff first. But inside the portal, you have access to the financial model. And I'll pull that up right now so that you can run the numbers based on how we've done our assumptions. I mean, obviously everything is off of assumptions. So there's no way for us to tell. I mean, who knows what the market's going to look like, but the thing is that I have a value in mind for all of the properties, and I will not sell or refi out that property until I know I can get that value. All right. So that's really kind of how it is for me. So I'm not going to just say, oh, it's like, in 2 years, I need to refi out. It's like, okay, will I be able to double or triple the value of this property? And what is the interest going to be what's the interest rate going to be if I refi out? So there's really kind of a lot of factors that go into that. And that's what the financial model shows. So let me just pull that up so you could see here. Hang on just one sec. Hang on just one sec. Okay. So here's the financial model. Let me pull this up and then you can take a look. You can take a look at it. So this is kind of how we do our assumptions. Okay. So you have access to this financial model inside of the portal. Okay. And you can just download this. And then what it is in this first page right here, you can basically put in the amount of money that you're going to be investing. Anything in yellow is what you can change. The amount of money you're going to be investing in and when you're going to invest the money in. And then based on the 4 facilities that we have right now, you can run your numbers, right? So, and the thing is that we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but basically what we're doing is we're running our numbers right now on refining these properties after 24 months, right? So you can turn all these off. Basically turn all these on or off, and we could say, just change all these to 24 months. Let's just say we just change this to 24 months. Okay. This is kind of how we're running our numbers right now. So, and then let's just say you put the money in by 4/15. Oops. Okay. So let's say you put it in this week. Okay. So this is basically how the model works is if you put $100,000 in this week, then basically you're gonna get back out within the 5-year period of $395,000. You'll get that back, and that IRR comes out to 108%. This is if you refi. This is exactly what you were talking about, Mark. If we actually refied all these properties out in 24 months, your IRR is like extremely high. We have this property right now, Leesburg. Leesburg I'm buying it for $2.4 million. And actually you could just pull this up right here. We could take a look at it. All of the properties in the fund are all here. All the numbers are here as well on each of the sheets. And then, I don't know why this isn't going all the way over. Maybe it needs, oh yeah, here it is. Go. So basically this property right here, we're buying it for $2.4 million. I'm getting it owner financed. All right. It's a $700,000 down payment. And you could see the numbers here. So we'll be all in like $2.6 million once we buy it. Okay. It's making right now, it's 50% full, and it's not even making $100,000, right? But the goal is to take it to $244,000. It really should be making around $244,000 a year. All right. And so what we're going to do, and you can see here's all the expenses right here. I'll show you pictures of this one as well. What we're going to do is we're just going to get it owner financed, right? And we're going to just stabilize this property. And within 18 months of ownership, we'll refi it out at a 65% LTV. The debt will be, the interest rate will be at 7%. right? And then you could see the refi proceeds are going to be $2.7 million. This is the number that we'll be able to distribute to everybody in 18 months or so.
Okay, that was my question, is what happens with the refi proceeds? Is it gonna be reinvested or is it going to be?
Yeah, it's just distributed to everybody.
All right.
We're gonna just distribute it out. We're gonna do, yeah. Because, because I'm only gonna buy 6 facilities and then we're just gonna manage those facilities.
Yeah.
And then these 6 facilities, and then if you like, and then, and then you can see at the end, when we sell at disposition, we'll have another 2.8. So I'm really gonna buy this property at $2.4 million and take it to like over $5 million. And you could see how much interest we're paying and then like what the payments are gonna be. You see. And then when you see this right here, you can see the 18 and the 24th, but you can see this distribution here. So if you scroll over, right, you can see all of these distributions. I mean, all of these like refi distributions are coming in from September of 2024 to 2025.
I
And
couldn't
then you
see
don't
that part
have-
of the screen when you rolled it over. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so that's here. So that's why you have access to this financial model as well too. So you can get here and put your numbers in and play around with it as well. And then you can see like, you're getting that money up front. Right. So that means you're not going to get hardly any money on the back end. Right. Now the question is, where is the market going to be and where are we going to be in 2 years? Right. So the good thing about having 6 to 8 properties in one fund is that you really get to just, pick and choose what you want to do with these properties. Right. So let's just say that, one of them is taking longer to manage than the other ones are. We can hold on to that one, and then just, and all the other ones can, be sold or be refied out. Really, the goal for me on this one, on Leesburg, is really to sell this property within 24 months. Because I actually have, this is an owner finance deal where I have to pay $7,000 a month of interest. It's interest only payments for 2 years, right? And when I talk to the owner, I mean, essentially he wants to owner finance a severely mismanaged, he wants to sell a severely mismanaged facility. So I got him to owner finance. I said, look, give me 2 years and I can either stabilize this property and sell it off, or I can refi. But if I just stabilize this property and then just sell it just on this one alone, I mean, this IRR is just ridiculous. Honestly, if I can stabilize this in 2 years and then sell it off. So that's really the goal for this one. And these, we'll just play it by ear because we're running our numbers at 7% interest at 65% LTV. I mean, if the interest rate is 9% or 10% in 18 months, there's really no reason for us to sell these off. I mean, unless I can find a really good interest, and to refi it out, unless I can find a really good interest rate. So, I mean, I can't, these are all assumptions, and that's why everything is in yellow. But the good thing is that we're going to have like 6 to 8 properties. And so we'll be able to play around with each one of them, and I'll be able to sell some of them off, refi some of them, and hold on to some of them, or refi them all out if I can refi them all out, or just sell them if I can. If I've stabilized them and I can have 2 years of tax returns and I can sell them for the price that I'd be able to sell them at in 5 years, there's no reason for us to hold on to the property. Right. So that's kind of how I look at it. Does that make sense, Mark?
Absolutely. And I appreciate you presenting this much transparency. I wondered if you would mind me asking you a little bit of a more difficult question.
Sure.
I don't want to put you on the spot, and I am going to see you next week, so we can get into this later. But what happens if you get hit by a bus?
Okay, yeah, so that's funny. We're actually in the process right now of working with an estate planner to just kind of plan all that out. But so Bonnie has been working with us for 7 years. She's really kind of the person that manages all of our facilities. And so she's our trustee as well. And so her job is going to be to just, to work, to sell them off, to work with the realtor. I have a realtor that I've worked with for 10 years. His name is Richard. And essentially Richard and Bonnie will just work together to just sell the properties off is what they would do. And we're kind of working through that right now, but yeah. And then also my husband is, if I get hit by a bus and my husband's still around, he'll be able to just, he'll be able to manage everything. He'll be able to manage the facilities at least as well.
Is
That's
he
what
as
he
good as
does.
you?
I'm actually not good at managing stuff. I'm good at like telling people what to
Okay.
do. And like, I'm really good at finding facilities, running bill analysis and funding them. And my husband is the manager.
So
That's really
Stacy,
kind of how it is. Yeah.
well, that's good. You guys have your own lane. So I got a question for you on to
Yeah.
take this a completely different direction, maybe,
Mhm.
which is what does the tax benefits look like when you're involved in a fund? And this is, what kind of vehicle is that? What kind of depreciation are we looking at?
It's awesome. Let's put it this way. So like, I mean, I was gonna have to pay like a lot of money in taxes this past year. Thank God I have this fund, put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that something, so, you invested, because that's going to be my situation. I think I'm afraid of the tax bill coming for 2023 and.
Yeah, we have a couple of investors that like, what, Stacy, I need the depreciation. I need this. Give it to me now.
Mhm.
Like this, all the last couple of months, that's all I've heard.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So we're totally used to that. But I'm telling you, like, we did cost seg just on our Blairsville facility. So we have two facilities right now, the Blairsville, which is an income producing property, we bought it for $1 million. We'll be able to sell it for $3.5 million when we're done with it.
Okay.
Or even more. And we cost segged that facility and got like a huge chunk that we just distributed to everybody. They all got that benefit.
Do you see doing that again?
We'll do that for every facility.
Okay. So
Every
you'd have some
facility.
opportunity again this year for that.
Oh yeah, so every year you can only take the depreciation on the facilities that were bought in that year.
Yep.
But this year we'll buy 4 facilities, and it's 1 a quarter is really where we're at. If I can raise the money to buy them, I'll buy them, and then everybody will be able to share in the distribution for that.
Okay.
Definitely, for sure.
Where's the raise at now, Stacy?
So we're closing on the Leesburg facility right now. That this week we got all the money for that, and then we're raising the money for the Carrollton ones. Let me share these with you so y'all can still see these facilities.
Sure. And while you're pulling that up, can you please give the instructions on how we access the data room again?
Yeah, just go. It's actually in the chat. Just click that link.
All right.
Okay, Self-Storage Fund of America, and see here. So, okay. Yeah, so let me just show you, like, here's the Blairsville facility. This is the first one that we bought. Okay, just typical storage facility. And it's got some climate control. Here's the climate control. It's actually has a house on the property. It actually came with the house, has a koi pond in it. Little tiny town, Blairsville, right? I don't know if you guys know Blairsville's in the North Georgia mountains, but it's like super.
Yeah, I think I've seen that facility before in person.
Yes. Here's the property. This is what it looks like. This is essentially, this is the land that we got. Here's the property. Here's a piece of land, 1/2 acre. Here's another piece of land. This has the house. Here's the barn. Here's we just cleared this land. We're going to do boat and RV parking, which we did not even include into the numbers. And so it's gonna be a bonus right here. We got our land guy just came out. He's like, yeah, I'll just clear all that for you. So he just cleared it all, and it's super private because you can see it's all just trees here. And so they'll just come on up. We already put gates in. They'll just come on up, and then this will park. I don't know how many you'll be able to fit, but you'll be able to, at least 10. At $100. I mean, that's another extra $1,000 a month that we're putting into this thing. And then also this house right here, the lady's been living there for 10 years. She's paid $400 a month. It's a 2,000 square foot house. It should be renting for like $1,500 to $2,000 a month. And she only paid $400. So we got her out. We raised her rent, and she said she's not going to pay it. And I said, okay, you got to leave. And so we're going to clean this thing up, and we're going to rent this thing out for like $1,500 a month minimum. And that's not even included into the numbers as well. Right. So there's a lot of opportunity here. And so we're just working through that right now is what we're doing. But it's a great, fantastic facility, honestly. This is the one that we're closing on right now. Right. This is Leesburg. And Leesburg, if you don't know where Leesburg is like, it's right next to the Villages in Florida. So the Villages is like this super popular area. Everybody goes to retire, and it's just like booming. And then that whole highway off of that highway from Villages all the way down, Leesburg is right there. And it's just like, it's booming. This is it's a suburb of Orlando. It's a very, very good area. So you can see in 10 miles, there's 188,000 people. And this is actually, I would consider this primary market. This is our very first primary market facility that we're buying, and it's going to be a very, very good one. So this is it. This is the climate controlled. It's all climate controlled, and it also has commercial space. It's 150 units storage. Plus, there's another problem. You could probably add another like at least 30 to 50 units, because there's a whole bunch of like blank spaces everywhere where they just like didn't put anything. They put like a whole bunch of other stuff like trash and stuff. And so we're going to even add more units. My husband Pete's like, we're going to add more units as well too, as soon as we get this thing full, because it's 50% full right now. And that's how my husband is. He's just like, we're going to go in there and just add more units and stuff. Is what he's like, just build it. I'll get my team and we'll just come in there and build it. And then the commercial space is up here, and the commercial space was empty up until this month. They just got a tenant in. It's $10,000 a month is what they're paying. It's a brand new tenant. And I told them we would not buy this property until those tenants were moving in and paying that rent. So it's going to be $10,000 a month. They're starting to pay now. And so the 50% full is $100,000 a year plus the tenants. The tenants are now going to be another $100,000 a year, $120,000 a year. So right off the bat, when we buy this thing, it's $220,000, and the storage is only 50% full. And it should really be making $200,000. I mean, a climate control in this area is around $2 a square foot, and he's charging like $1 a square foot. I mean, so I'll show you the numbers and stuff, but like, and then also this whole property right here is also included. And this is where there's no parking or anything here. We're going to make this into parking and stuff. So it needs gate, it needs so much stuff. We're going to work on that. Okay. Another thing about this facility too, is that it's not 24/7 access. There's a guy, Jack, that works there. He opens the door at 9 o'clock and closes the door at 4 o'clock when he leaves. And he only works Monday through Friday. Okay. And those are the hours of this building. So we're going to be putting security in, we're going to be putting cameras in. It's going to cost us about $50,000 to do that. So that's in the CapEx. All right. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to get done, but we should be making $350,000 minimum a month on this property once we stabilize this. We have 24 months to do that. We're doing interest only payments for $7,000 a month. And then everything else will go to managing the facility, and then extra money after left over. You just have to give us some months, a couple months to stabilize this property and stuff.
How many units are in this one?
150.
Wow.
$150. 150 units at $2 a square foot. So, and then here, this property right here, this owner, he has contacted us already and told us that he wants to sell, and he will owner finance this property as well. This whole property. So I'm like, maybe we should buy this. He told me $875,000. Isn't that cool? So
Is that a gym?
That's a gymnastics. It's a gymnastics place. It's a big warehouse. So we would have to convert it into climate control, and then maybe do, I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm just thinking about it, but like he has contacted us and told us he would sell this entire property for $875,000. So we're just working through it. We'll see what happens. We could own this whole block. Be awesome. Okay. So yeah, see, this is it. And then this is this big piece of property right here for $875,000. This is the main street. This is the main street of Leesburg. And then this is actually over here. This is Beacon College. Beacon College. So Beacon College is a very famous college for people with disabilities. It's a university for people with disabilities. Okay. And then people from all over the world send their kids here. Okay. So let me see what else. But it's actually another thing that I told him is that I would not close on this until it was painted. So the painting is included into this purchase. So it's getting painted right now. Pretty cool. And this is a nice facility inside. It's just a climate control facility. It's not bad at all. I mean, it's a very nice facility. All right. So inside there's not the commercial side. And actually the commercial side is really not that bad, but it does need a little bit of work as well. Okay. So very, very good property. These are the competitors and stuff. And this is in the portal. So you'll be able to get in and look at all of these executive summaries. So we put these executive summaries together for all of the, this is the competitors. Okay. There's only 4 competitors that have, like, there's only climate control storage in the area, and there's only 4. Right?
I tried to get into the data room. I think you need to do an approval. Is that right?
Okay, Ann can do that for you. Ann, can you approve him, please? Okay, so here's the, so here's the property. Here, $2.4 million, it's making 108,000. We ran the numbers to be conservative at $1.82, which really, it really is closer to like a $2, but we just ran the numbers $1.82. And we'll be able to double the value of the property, you see here. And we're taking it from a 6 cap to a 12 cap, really is what we're doing. We'll be able to sell it. So you can see this is our deal analyzer. This is how we run our numbers. And this is, you could see, just taking it from 108 to 205, not including the commercial property right here. Okay, that number does not include the commercial property. So it's
So
a
when you
very,
go into a
very,
market, like you have the competitive analysis on this, when you go into a market and you look at what you have to do to attract either other from away from those or just new people, and you're looking at demographics and competition.
Mhm.
Like, do you do something different for marketing once you take ownership, or what's that look like?
the marketing is, we have like, essentially, we have an in-house Google Ads person. Like we have an in-house like online marketing person. It's really online marketing. When you buy a property, it's online
Mhm.
marketing. And there's a couple different outlets for that. And so we just have a guy's name's Imran. He's been working with me for a while now. He does all my marketing for Stacy Rossetti. That's how you got into this pitch. And then he also does all the marketing for Miss Lillian Self Storage. Miss Lillian Self Storage is our personal brand. And then he does all the marketing for Mission Self Storage. So the Self Storage Fund of America brand is called Mission Self Storage, right? That's our brand. And so he does all the marketing for that as well. And I mean, essentially, it's just like, we're taking, we're kicking all the bad tenants out, and we're getting good tenants that can just pay our rents and follow our rules, really. And just, that's kind of what we're looking for. And so we do that through just online marketing. We have like a whole bunch of different, like, and once you get into the into the fund and you decide to put money into the fund, we have quarterly meetings. We just had our quarterly meeting, and then we'll get into the details of how we do all that. So I don't sit there and show everybody how we do that now, but in the quarterly meeting, we'll be able to show you all the marketing that we're doing, the Google Ads, and how we get out there and get our name out there and get the tenants to come in.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's the, and then also here, you can see that this is like the owner financing offer. This is what we ended up with. So the 2.4 million with the 30% down, 5% interest only payments for 2 years, right? So we had to come up with, $720,000, and the loan amount is like 16.8. And you could see that our mortgage is $7,000 a month, and our cash on cash return is 26.3, 38%, 26% cash on cash return. All right, so that's the terms that we came up with. All right, so you can go through and look all that's in here. You can see the cash flow right here. All right, so obviously cash flow currently is like, not good, right? Because it's not making, it's only, here's the owner finance number 3 is where we're at. It's going to be making $19,000, and it's at a -5%, but we're going to stabilize the property, right? Oh, sorry. No, we're owner financing number 1, not 3. So we're at, okay. So we're at a 7%, 7.8% cash on cash return, just buying it as is. And then we're going to take it from $19,500 to $32,000 income. And take it from a 7.8% cash on cash return to a 26% cash on cash return. That's kind of how we do it. Okay. So that's in the folder if you want to take a look at it. Let's see what else. This is the one that we bought that's severely mismanaged. This one we got like a fantastic, oh my God, this was such a good deal. This is such a good deal. Max, it's in Macon, Georgia. It's a 5% growth rate. 52% growth rate since 2010, 5% in 2020. It's a very, very good area. It's in between it's right between Macon and Warner Robins. It's right in that little sector right there. I'll show you. Very, very good area to be in. You can see within a 5-mile range, there's 38,000 people. You know, so this is a good, very good secondary, Michael. You see 10-mile radius, 188,000. So just like Leesburg, it's a very, very good area to be in. This is the property right here. I'll show you the borders. Yeah, so this is the property, and it also has a property. It's actually 6 acres total. The owner, this is a completely abandoned storage facility. The owner completely abandoned it. He was not making any money on this deal at all. All right. And so we picked it up for $375,000. And it's 170 doors, but only 92 of them were usable. And so he was only making, he said he was making $14,000, but he wasn't making anything. He said, I'm making like $1,000 a month, but really he wasn't making anything. He lied to us. But it's like 15,000 square feet of usable space right now that we are cleaning out. We just did auctions and like cleaned everything out and stuff. And we're getting ready to start painting it. Cause really you saw the way it looked, it needs to be painted. We put lights up. One of the things that we needed was lights because it was completely pitch black, this thing, and a lot of break-ins and stuff. So we can lift that thing up. We're getting security cameras. We're about to paint that sucker. It's going to be a really, really good deal. So we got 20,000 square feet of storage on 6 acres for $375,000. And this property is worth well over $2 million. And this is exactly the same property that all my 11 properties that I have, like my 11 or 12 properties that I own personally are exactly like this one. All right, so this is gonna be a very, very good property for the fund, and I stuck it into the fund so y'all could share in the profits with us. And you just have to give me some time to stabilize this properly, because it takes a long time to stabilize these. It takes a good 18 to 24 months to stabilize something like this. So you just have to know that this one is going to be bringing the numbers down in the fund for a while. Right. But the good thing is I bought 3 other facilities that are income producing properties that will help us to have at least some profit on a quarterly basis. But you can see this one is, I bought it for cash, right? And it's going to be a 24% return once it's done. Okay, very good. So you can check this one out. Competition and stuff's in there. And then let me see what else. The last one is, got one more. This is the one that we're buying now. Did I get? Oh, sorry, that's my daughter's lunch menu. Okay, here, hang on. Abel, this is the one that we're buying right now that I got to raise money for. So if you put your money in, this is where it's going to go. All right, to help me buy this facility. It's got this massive, huge 20,000 square foot building that he is only making $2,500 a month on. That's it. Can you imagine a 20,000 square foot building that he's making $2,500 a month on? And then here's the storage as well. Here's the storage. Look at this. He's only making $500 a month on each of these. That's it. And they're 2,000 square foot each. Can you imagine? He's like, yeah, they've been paying $500 a month for the past, 5-10 years or whatever. It's like, I have never increased the rent. So it's like, oh my God, you're killing me. That's what it looks like here. So it's a very nice, good looking storage facility. We need to figure out what to do with this building. I ran the numbers just by increasing the rents to $2,000 each is what I did. But really as is, he's making on this facility, he's making $150,000 right now. Okay, I picked this facility up. It's in Carrollton, Georgia, which is just a suburb of Atlanta. And actually we have 3 other facilities right in this area. So this is like picking this up is just gonna be adding another one to the family. All right, this is the facility itself. Okay. And this one is also very good market, 44,000, 77,000 people within 10-mile radius. This is a very fast growing up and coming area. I got this facility for $1.4 million. This one's cash. That's why I need cash on this one. He will not own or finance. And no, there's no bank that will finance this because he has been commingling his funds. He has 3 different companies And he has literally commingled every single one of the companies, but you can't tell anything on his P&L and his balance sheet. So no bank will touch this. 25,000 square feet and $150,000 a month, 175 doors. We're buying it for 1.4 million, and it should be well over $3 million for this property. Or we could even add, I could make that whole building into climate control. What I could do as well too, and then that would just increase the rates. But I just ran it as is what I did, just by as is increasing the rates. You see, he's at 69 cents a square foot. He should be at 95 cents a square foot. So literally, we're just increasing the rates. What we're doing. Really, really nice guy, honestly, but he just has no idea how to manage a facility. And so that's the one I'm raising the rates for. That's the one I'm raising the funds for right now. So you'll be putting your money in for that. Okay. I mean, obviously the money goes for everything, but like that's what I'm raising the money for. Okay. So those are the types of funds I buy. I mean, those are types of facilities that I buy. Okay. Any questions? I see a lot of questions here. You have to be an accredited investor. All right. So yeah. So I see Greg, maybe he dropped off. I'm not sure. Yeah. You have to be an accredited investor for this one.
Quick question on that, Stacy.
Yeah.
So I just moved down from Canada.
Cool.
And I haven't even filed a single tax return yet because I came in late 2021. I'm an accredited investor in Canada, but I'm not sure if that translates down here. Do you know how that would
I'm
work?
pretty sure you're okay. I'll ask my attorney just to make sure, but I think I've had people ask even like, can I ask, actually, there was some form or something that I can't remember that you have to fill out, but like I've asked my attorney
up there. We have self-declarations, but I'm also a former registrant. So like I've actually been registered to sell securities before, and that actually automatically qualifies you up there, but I'm not sure now.
Good. Yeah, that's the same thing here, actually. It's like my CPA. Like my CPA he's an accredited investor and stuff. So
yeah.
It's the same kind of concept. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you can do that. I'll ask my attorney just in case. His name is David, and and just say, look, but I'm pretty sure I've asked the Canadian question before. If you're Canadian, can you fun? Yes, Julie.
Hi, Sherry. Hi, Stacy. I am Julie. I was Canadian. I'm in the US now, but yeah,
Good.
so it is applicable.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah. We moved from Ontario in 2019. So
Where do you live at?
I'm in Omaha, Nebraska now. You met with my husband and I, Bo, about being students.
That's right. Yeah. I remember that now too. Where did you move from, Mark?
I'm from Vancouver. I moved from Kelowna, British Columbia, down to Dallas, Texas, and then up to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Awesome.
Okay, so now you're not, my family is all from Chalice.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Chalice?
No, I have no idea where that is.
Well, I know lots of people
Chalice,
from Kelowna.
Idaho. You do not know Chalice, Idaho?
No, I got here 4 months ago. Give me a break. Like it
Yeah,
just
that's
snow
true.
just cleared. I can only start.
Chalice,
moving.
Idaho is like a little tiny town, like 1,000 people.
We have a ton of friends
in Idaho.
Kelowna.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Julie, what were you saying?
We have a ton of friends in Kelowna and Revy and Nelson, and yeah.
I love
so
Idaho.
Yeah.
I love Idaho. Idaho's like, I think is the most beautiful state in all of the country.
It is beautiful. It's very much like Kelowna. It's one of the reasons I love it here and why I'm back from Dallas.
Yeah.
So
You're back down in Dallas. Okay, so you're in Dallas.
No. That's why I'm back from Dallas.
Oh, you're
because-
back from Dallas. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say Dallas is like a big metropolitan area. It's like
Yeah, it's not my jam. I like the Pacific Northwest. I like.
That's how I am too. Yeah. I like a little tiny country area, beautiful scenery. That's what I like.
This
Okay,
must
so
be a Canadian call. I'm also Canadian.
Oh my God.
Man, I'm going global, y'all. Going global.
All
I
those
just out of
Canadians need to put
curiosity,
their money somewhere.
is anyone else on this call going to be in Vegas other than Stacy?
Yeah, I'm gonna be in Vegas. I'm gonna be in
Oh,
Vegas this week.
I am. I sent you a message. to
Oh
let
yeah,
you
that's
know.
right. You sent me the thing. Yes. So definitely come by and say hi and introduce yourself.
Okay. All right. Well, I've
Now
got
I have a booth. The booth 222 is our booth. Okay.
It's already marked on my exhibit list, and I'm going to be at your talk too. So
Good. Cool. Okay, you'll be
Yeah.
able to meet face to face. Yeah.
I'll be the one
So
who's asking
I
all
leave
you.
at 6 o'clock tomorrow. When do you leave?
I'm leaving at 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Oh, okay, good. We got some early flights then. I got picked up before.
No, I'm going in PM. I don't need to be
Oh,
there.
6 p.m. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. I got an early flight, so
Yeah, well, I'm not getting there till midnight, but that's fine. Well, I appreciate your time. So just so that I know getting access to the data room, am I gonna get an email link to say that I'm activated now or?
And did you give him access?
Everyone should have access already. Yep.
I tried to, and I couldn't get in either, Stacy. It says, you know, you have to be approved.
Okay, so she's saying everybody should have access now, so
I'll
just.
try
you
again
know.
right now. I'll let you know here.
Yeah, let us
Thank you.
know, and then just email us,
Yep,
just
I'm in.
email us. Oh,
I'm
you're
in.
good. Okay, good. Okay, yes, everybody should have access. And then just get into the portal, look at the PPM, like I said, go to the subscription, fill that out. If you have any questions, Ann will, Ann or I can help you, okay?
Mhm.
Stacy, I have a question about the depreciation. So we do a lot of multifamily, because we have a large triple net portfolio. So we
Yes,
use,
oh, I remember, now I remember.
so we
I was
use,
wondering what happened to y'all.
I know, well, it was crazy. We ended up going to Hawaii for a couple months, and anyways,
Oh.
we're back.
Oh, I just ended up going to Hawaii.
So we live, 100% passively through the income of the triple nets, but wanted to, eradicate taxes. So we use the multifamily for that. So we live tax free now. But we also obviously love the bonus depreciation to cut that tax bill. So do you know what about the percentages on these types of deals? Like on our multifamily, they're usually, I mean, obviously it's 80% right now on a cost seg, but we usually probably capture 60 to 75 in year one. Is that similar?
I think it's the same. I think it was around like 60% or something, if I remember
And it's
correctly. I
obviously
can ask
better.
Adam just to make sure, but it was very well. It was very good.
Okay. Yeah. If you can get me, or, if someone could get answers on that, that would be great. Cause
Can
I
you just
know.
email us and ask us. Ann's gonna email you, email her back and say, hey, I'm just asking about the cost seg, and then I'll CC Adam and he can answer that because he's the one that will answer what the percentage is, okay?
Okay,
You-
awesome.
you
And
know
do
what?
you usually get a quote, obviously, on that cost seg before you guys go in, or do you just do it after you've already purchased?
Let's do it after we purchased, is what
Okay.
we did this time, yeah. We'll see what we do. for
Just
this
just
next year.
to throw this out here for you, Stacy, and I
Mhm.
don't want to, expand too far on this. This is your call, but was it Julie just mentioned that she has a large triple net portfolio and is also from Canada. I just had a quick question for her if that
Mhm.
triple net portfolio was in Canada or not. Seeing as we have several Canadians on this call, there's a question that I had for her.
Oh, so yeah, no, we got out of Canada as quickly as we could because we were being taxified to death. So as soon as we got out, we bought all of our triple nets here. There's not opportunity in Canada like there is here for purchasing large triple nets. Like the triple nets we own are like Starbucks and, all types of like total triple net, corporate guaranteed. The options in Canada are so slim in comparison. So it wasn't even an option for us.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying. So you're telling my story. I had to get out of Canada too, and I'm
Oh,
rebuilding.
yeah,
my portfolio
because you're
down
being
here,
taxed
and,
60% or whatever it is. Yeah.
yeah, it was 53%. But
Yep. Ours was 67. So whew.
yeah, though BC and Ontario are the worst. But yeah, I just mentioned because that's a thing, and recovering those taxes at that higher rate to get out of Canada, as you probably know, is something.
Yeah, and
that
anything we had in Canada, we actually had to leave there because in order for us to bring it over, we would be doubly taxed.
Yeah, though that's what I was going to bring up is that I hear your story because I had to leave with 3 weeks notice and ditch everything and literally just give it away and sell everything and whatever and just leave because I couldn't handle it anymore. But the point that I was making is the things that you did leave there, the income that you're making there, the exit tax you paid. Most people don't know this, but that's actually 100% recoverable.
Well, we just left it there. So we're still making money on it there. We just can't take it across the border. If you leave it in the country, you're fine, but you can't access it. So when we go to access it, that's when we'll be taxed unless we bring it into different vehicles, which we might do down the line. But depending on your income and your status, there's a taxable component. And we just won't probably have that RESP income. Like we won't ever get to that RSP, whatever 70-year-old income because we're making more now than we ever have.
Oh yeah, no, it's too bad we're not going to see each other in Vegas, Julie, because there's some pretty interesting information that I would have that you would probably want to know.
Oh, cool. Well, I can give you my contact too, but thanks, Stacy.
That's why I was saying I don't want to hijack Stacy's call, but I mean it's a completely
It's all
unrelated
good. I'm
thing.
done anyway, so.
No,
All right,
So
well,
I'm-
Julie, I'm not sure
Disconnecting
how I
people,
get you by
Stacy.
email,
This is a
but-
connection
I'm
call
I'm
now.
like, I'm the
Networking.
connector. That's what I am, you know?
I have a question though for you, Stacy, because I know you have a big day tomorrow. So I just wanted to know, I couldn't really see, I'm on my phone, so it's hard to see all the stuff, and I'll obviously go over it in the portal once I have access. But is it like multifamily where there's a 6-month wait before distributions start? How does it work with storage?
Yeah, it's like that too, yes, for us, because it's like, I mean, essentially, when we buy the property, it's gonna be like, you know, it's, if you have to do a 60-day notice of even a rate change.
Okay,
Right?
but so like, because this is a fund and there's like, say there will be 8 properties and we come in and this is what, the 4th or 3rd, what property number is
This
this?
is
of this
well, we're
fund?
closing on the 3rd and I'm working on the 4th one right now.
Okay, so if we come in now, for example, are properties 1 and 2 and 3 possibly already cash flowing? And so when we come in, do we get
One will
distributed?
be cash flowing, one will be cash flowing this quarter. The first one, which is the Blairsville one, the second one is not cash flow. That's the Macon one. That's like severely mismanaged, but Leesburg will be cash flowing, right? So that will take another, it's like we close on that one this year and that'll take, you'll get that like in 6 months. So I would say within like 6 months, you're going to start getting distributions is what's
So
happening.
we don't get any on the first one that's
Yeah,
already.
you'll get
cash
you'll get a little tiny bit on the first one, but not
Okay.
a lot.
flowing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then it looked like about 1,000 and some. Is that kind of what the quarterly will
Well, how much
be?
money are you going to put in? That's the question.
I mean, well,
You know,
according to your graph or your, your pro forma, that was for 100,000.
yeah, that
So-
was 100,000. Yeah. That was 100,000, and it was. Let me see here, 100,000 on a quarterly basis. You're going to be making a couple $1,000s a month if we.
Yeah. A
if-
month
if-
or a quarter?
I'm sorry,
Is
a
it-
quarter, a couple $1,000s a quarter. If we refi the 3 out, you would get distributions in year 20, like end of 24, beginning of 25 for those refis. Okay, if we don't
it work?
refi them, then they would just be, whenever we refi, you get the distribution.
Okay, so a couple questions that spur from that for me are multifamily, because we're used to it in terms of like this similar pro forma. When you refi, we would get back just our capital investment, right? No return on capital. So there wouldn't be a capital.
Just to distribute the return when we refi out. We're gonna
So you
distribute
give
everything
me
back.
back
is
my
what we're gonna-
100,000.
We've talked about this. We've talked about this quite often. And
Mhm.
essentially, like, we're gonna just have 6. We're gonna have 6 facilities, 6 to 8 facilities in the funds, and we're gonna just buy those now, and then you either refi those in 24 months or however long it takes. And then whatever amount of money you get, you'll get that refi money back. And we'll hold on. If we refi, we're going to be holding on to those properties for 3 years, because you have to, like, the way it works, like, you will have
Right,
a
so
payment.
total of 5 years,
if you
right?
sell. Yeah, like before 5 years, we'll have to pay this penalty and stuff. So that's the only thing. Or I'll just sell them in, 2 to 3 years. I could do this.
Right.
as
So
well.
if you did do a refi in year 2, for example,
Mhm.
would you give back that full
I would
$100,000?
get back the full, no, okay, so you would not get back whatever amount of money, you would get back the money that you make on the deal,
Okay.
all right? The
So-
distribution is off of the profit, not the 100,000.
Okay. So would that be considered a capital event at that point for taxes, or are you still on a return of capital?
You'd
That
be
would
on
be-
return
you'd
of
get-
capital until you
yeah, you'd be
receive
on return of
100% of your
capital, yeah.
distribution back.
Yeah. So as long as you don't reach over the 100,000. So similarly to multifamily, as soon as
Same
you
thing.
hit $100,001, then you're starting to pay, or you have a capital event, between 100 and whatever sale is.
Yes, you got it, right? You
Okay.
got it.
That'll still
That's
only be a
exact-
capital gain past the 100,000.
Yeah,
Right, but it would be a capital event for us on sale. And so like anything over the 100,000 in return of capital right now, we have to pay like the capital gain on. But if we have the negative K1 from the depreciation, we can
Right.
use that. So we basically, what I'm saying is we have a 2-year time frame before I have to even use that K1 on that property. So I
Yes.
could use it, and continue to invest in other projects to get these K1s. Well, it'll go down obviously because it's a
same thing,
That's
same
down.
concept, same
but,
concept.
okay. Perfect.
Yeah, and you know, and then also you have access, like you could always just, if you have something personal that you want to talk to with Adam, he's a CPA, he's our fund
Okay.
manager and the CPA, so you could just talk to him about your personal stuff too.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. I just wanted to understand if if it was similar to, the refinancing, the capital gain, when you could use, when the capital event would actually happen with this, because that's
Yeah.
so
Yeah, and
important.
you know, what you could do is just, just like I said, Anne's gonna email you back, get the replays. And then, and then you can ask any questions, and then what she'll do is she'll just CC you with Adam as well too. And then Adam can either email those questions or he could send you a link, and then you could just meet with him for a few minutes and ask him.
Okay. Have you ever not reached performa?
On all my deals, never once.
Okay.
Yeah, all of our deals are awesome. That's why, that's why I'm still in storage. We're doing good. That's for sure. I love storage. Storage is like the best industry to be in. My personal opinion.
Awesome. I know I like the diversification, and I think we need to add something different. So, I've been following you for almost a year now, so I think it's probably time. I finally got on one of these calls.
Hey, it's time to put some money in.
Yes,
I
yeah,
mean,
no,
the
we're ready.
minimum's 25 grand,
Oh,
so I mean, yeah.
we would not do the minimum because we would
Okay.
need to see more returns. But yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
we're thinking about this pretty hard. So thank you
Yeah.
for your time today.
Yeah, we had to pay. I mean, we had to pay a lot of money in taxes this past year, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta come up with all that money. And then all of a sudden this depreciation came in, and I was like, oh my God, thank you so much for the depreciation.
Oh, us too. We just got K1s in negative 468,000. So we've eradicated our full build for this year. So
yes,
this stuff works if you do it right, for sure.
You
So
do it right, yeah. And actually, Adam is he's a CPA and a tax strategist.
that's awesome.
So if you like I said, I always say you need an Adam on your team.
Yeah, we have a really great tax strategist. That's why we obviously didn't have taxes this year, but
Yeah.
it's super important when you're doing your planning to know.
It's very important. It's very important. We're in the same boat that you are, and we're sitting there, and I'm saying, if Trump can do it, I can do it. How are we doing it?
Exactly. Well, thank you so much again for your time.
All right, cool. All right, y'all keep me posted. Let me know if y'all need anything, if you need, and I'll see you, Mark, this week. And if you guys need a Zoom meeting, or if you need help with the subscriptions or whatever, just let me know. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Take care. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.